Arup's been involved with the upgraded Pacific Highway corridor for over 20 years now. Initially, we kicked off on one of our first projects, which was T2E, Tinbart to Ewingsdale. But over that 20-year period, we've worked on all forms of design and construct contracts, different delivery methods, most recently delivery partner method, and delivering the whole way up along the coast. The particular feature along that north-central coast and north coast is really the highway impacted by flooding and regional flooding. So the corridor gets closed a number of times a year potentially, and the highway that we're designing, the duplicated highway, is essentially being designed to not be impacted in the 100-year event, so essentially be open or have a lane open the whole way through. So the challenges really in building through floodplains are you have to have it resilient, but you don't want to put too much structure into the area because it impacts the local community and creates increased or potential increased impacts by flooding, by backing up water or holding it back. We ended up with a hollow tube steel pile that was driven through the gravels in that area. It meant we didn't have to remove or clean out the soils or gravels out of that area, and it was extremely efficient and worked very well through the floodplain. At the southern end of Worrell Creek to Nambucca Heads upgrade, the Pacific Highway crosses Upper Worrell Creek. The concept design for that area had the carriageway going over Upper Worrell Creek and also over the North Coast rail line, which tracks alongside the creek there at that location. Through review and during the early contractor engagement stages, we developed a solution that lowered that bridge so that it would cross over Upper Worrell Creek but underneath the North Coast rail line. That had significant impacts on reducing the visual impact of the bridge. It shortened the work zone quite a lot, and it tightened up the whole geometry around that junction, including shortening the river span at that location. The Nambucca River Bridge is one of the key bridges within the Worrell Creek to Nambucca Heads project. In total length, it's over 2 kilometres long, and it spans floodplains on either side. There's a local community adjacent to the bridge location, so it's very, very sensitive to any changes in the flooding impacts. So the bridge design there was brought forward with a new solution that hadn't previously been tried or developed in Australasia, and that was worked forward on solutions that were developed by our construction partner Acciona Ferrovial in Europe. Essentially, it's a longer beam, and we call it the UMAX beam, and it provides for a longer span capable than what was traditionally used, which was a super T-beam generally used previously. And that meant that we could reduce the number of spans across such a long bridge, we could reduce the number of piers within the river and those flooding impacts, and also throughout the floodplain. The W2B project, or Wilgula to Ballina, is the completion of the Pacific Highway upgrade that has been running for the last 20 years to have it completed for 2019. So it's all remaining sections to be delivered in one contracting delivery model called the delivery partner. Part of the digital evolution of our work along the Pacific Highway corridor has involved us designing in 3D, but also increasingly developing and printing our work in 3 dimensions. One of the areas where we found that to work quite well was where we printed out the new UMAX girder arrangement and construction sequencing for the Nambucca River Bridge, where it was a new girder type going to be erected at height. First time it was done for Roads and Maritime, and that allowed all the stakeholders to actually physically see how all these elements go together and work together. Arup are currently delivering the concept design for Coffs Harbour Bypass. Some refer to it as the missing link, but essentially the Pacific Highway upgrade the intention was to have a duplicated highway the whole way to Brisbane. The opportunity to bypass the town altogether and have a number of options that skirt around the back of it and deliver that continuity of travel the whole way are currently being examined. It's been an excellent journey for Arup as a company and for our staff and individuals as we go, but it's really one of the key benefits we really see out of it, and seeing the work under construction on site are the safety benefits that the highway has delivered. One of the key needs really are the removal of head-on accidents, and trying to deliver the project in a way that is both robust and efficient and gets it up to site efficiently and quickly, because every month saved in construction directly relates to the safety impacts and reduction in accidents and impacted lives on the corridor. So that's really been the key takeout for our organisation.